What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. I'm a smidge late, aren't I? A little bit of smidge late. Oh, you're just like me. You are just like me. I'm sitting here going, come on, come on, come on. The truth of the matter is that the internet around Carrington at Manchester is not great. So usually when we're not in the press conferences, what I like to do is go live pretty much as soon as they've ended. So if it's like 12:30, I'll be live around sort of 12:45, 1 o'clock-ish. When we're actually in them, obviously it takes a little bit longer, that we've got to get the footage and all that kind of stuff. So I set it an hour after. It'll go 12:30, then I'll go to 1:30. And that Carrington internet, I'm sitting there the whole time, I'm rocking, I'm shaking, I'm like, come on, come on. And then throughout all of this, whilst I'm waiting for the clip to go on, all this stuff's going on about Sabitzer. I mean, honestly, it's crazy. I mean, in the last couple, this is a press conference video, but it might turn into a transfer view very, very quickly. Oh my goodness me. So in the last couple of minutes or so, I mean, part of the questions in the press conference were about Christian Eriksen, the injury. He's going to be out for about 3 months till the end of April, beginning of May. And since then, even in the press conference, Ten Hag was asked, are we going to be getting anyone? Are we going to be signing anyone? What's going to be going on? And then as I'm waiting for this clip to happen, next thing you know, it's saying that we're going to sign Sabitzer from Bayern Munich. So Fabrizio Romano's tweeted in the last 50 seconds saying Marcel Sabitzer wants to leave and Manchester United are now pushing in talks with Bayern Munich. Discussions on the formula of the deal ongoing. It was linked to Chelsea as well, but by all accounts, Chelsea are out of the conversation. Romano saying that Chelsea are currently busy with other deals and not Sabitzer as things stand. They're looking and they've moved on to different people. United have indeed approached Bayern Munich for Marcel Sabitzer. Chelsea are focused on different players. So the discussions now are about the formula of the deal, what's going to be happening, how are we going to get this deal done. Now, I'm assuming it's going to be a loan, but some people are saying it could be a transfer. I mean, this deadline day's just exploded. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. No, nevertheless, Red Barrow with a super chat says Ten Hag and the doctors are saying Eriksen is out to get a signing from the Glazers. Yes, I see what you mean there. Okay, right. Press conference. That's what we're here to talk about. Press conference, yes. So, I can get into all of the questions in the press conference, and we will. We're going to get into the questions asked to Eriksen and his responses to them. But first, if you were watching the press conference live, I mean, the first question was actually from Simon Peach, and behind him, you would have seen someone that is near and dear to our hearts. His name is Mr. The Comedian. Yes, that's right. KG, that comedian, was in Carrington. He was at the press conference. He even asked a question to the Manchester United manager. Yes, Erik ten Hag. KG asked a question. We've got the clip. This is the footage we were waiting for. Let's play it. Here's KG's adventure at Carrington.
Guys, I can't believe it, bro. I'm at Carrington, bro. Chef, everything. Everyone's here, and I'm here. And I need to find out, are we ready for the semi-final? Let's hear what the manager has to say. Come on!
Hi, Eric.
Hi.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka's been in lovely form recently. We've seen him play more higher up the pitch and more inverted. His performance, and is that more what you're expecting from the fullbacks? And lastly, in terms of in the last course, you know, new player that's been brought in, expecting to play more direct into him. We saw Facundo into him. We expect to see that next phase of our football.
Yes, definitely. And he was so often ill or injured start of the season, so he wasn't in the right spirit to contribute. And then in the restart, he was available and used to our way of play, what we introduced, and I think make a good progress. And I think you see him.
Wow. I waited all that time and it's all glitchy. It's a disgrace. It's a cheat. Wow, indeed. I'll play it again in a minute. This day, technology is not my friend today. The question is, do we try it again? I played it and I could see it buffering. I was thinking, what's going on there? It was glitching for me as well. The question is, do we trust it? Do we trust... You know what that is? That's Google Drive playing against me. That is... It wouldn't be a KG clip without it being without it being glitchy. Let's try again. And if it doesn't, disgrace cheat. Let's see if it can work. Take 2.
Guys, I can't believe it, bro. I'm at Carrington, bro. Chef, everything. Everyone's here, and I'm here. And I need to find out, are we ready for the semi-final? Let's hear what the manager has to say. Come on! Gassed.
Hi, Eric.
Hi.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka's been in lovely form recently. We've seen him play more higher up the pitch and more inverted. How impressed have you been with his performance? And is that more what you're expecting from the fullbacks? And lastly, in terms of in the last game we saw Wild Weghorst, new player that's been brought in, expecting to play more direct into him. We saw Facundo play an excellent cross into him. We expect to see that next phase of our football.
Yes, definitely. I think Aaron, he was so often ill or injured start of the season, so he wasn't in the right spirit to contribute. A lot of dropouts, and then in the restart, he was available, and he get used to our way of play, what we introduced, and I think he make a good development, make a good progress, and I think you see him growing game by game, and I'm happy that also what I think was in the last games the connection between Aaron and was much better. Yeah. And then you see much more difficulties for the opponent, and also to work on that we even have more bodies there around them, and so they have more opportunities to play. So and then to Wout, I think Wout is first well, and he's just doing what I expected him to do. And so routines has to come, but the more you play together, the more it will come. And so I expect even better performance from him.
Wow, it wasn't great, was it? Oh, goodness me. Oh. Wow, I tell you what. We'll go through. We'll go through the press conference. We'll go through the answers, and maybe by then it might now decide to work. I don't know what's going on. It's a disgrace. It's a cheat. Google Drive, get in the bin. You a disgrace. KG stands for Kevin Glitch, as I Speak Wales says. Disgrace cheat. Yes. Right, let's get into some of the questions in the press conference as well. After all that, waiting for all that, and then it's all glitching out on me. Disgrace. To be fair, I think YouTube is on one today as well, because this morning me and DJ were doing the stream and it just stopped. It just stopped, and that's on StreamYard as well. Oh, good goodness me. Right. Nevertheless, let's get into these questions. Yes. So Simon Peach asked the first question, and it was the statement had been released about Christian Eriksen's injury. How is he mentally? How is the camp reacting? Ten Hag said, of course he's disappointed. We are all disappointed, but it happens in top football. It shouldn't have happened, but it did, and you have to deal with it. Now, it's funny now because this question, that was the follow-up question to this, it's kind of already been answered, because the question was about, can we see a replacement? The question was, do you believe you have enough depth in the squad, or could we see a replacement? Ten Hag said, quote, as you said, something on deadline day is difficult. You can't make policy on bad injuries. We have players in the midfield department, good players who can fill the gap. Now, again, since then, by all accounts, because of this injury to Christian Eriksen, Manchester United are attempting to do a deal for a midfielder on deadline day, and it would appear that person is Bayern Munich midfielder Marcel Sabitzer. He wants to leave, and Manchester United are now pushing in talks with Bayern Munich, again, as per Fabrizio Romano. Discussions on the formula of the deal are ongoing. Again, it's just funny how these press conferences work sometimes, because again, that wouldn't have been like after the press conference they decided to go after Sabitzer. By all accounts, those initial contacts started late last night. And I saw something before I even went live saying that his agent had flown into Manchester last night too. So by all accounts, when Ten Hag is saying that, well, it's difficult, we're not sure, we'll have to wait and see, that's that's him playing it coy. That's him saying, well, we don't know. But I would assume clearly he's gone to the board, he's gone to John Murtough, Richard Arnold, and say, look, Christian Eriksen's out to the end of April, beginning of May. He's out for 3 months. Now, I understand the financial situation being what it is. I understand that we've burnt through cash. I understand the owners are looking to sell the club and that money isn't there. But in terms of an opportunity that we have, and opportunities that we have this season, in terms of having, being in near enough the Carabao Cup final, having a lot of the big teams out of the FA Cup in terms of being in contention for the top 4, whilst traditional rivals such as Chelsea and Liverpool are lower down in the table, sometimes you've just got to take that opportunity, and our hand's been forced. In an ideal world, they wouldn't have wanted to do any business in January, and they didn't intend on doing any business in January. But Eriksen's injured, and we've got a really good opportunity. We have to go for it. And I think that Sabitzer would be a really shrewd signing in terms of, we were talking about, when you're hearing about emergency loans, you're getting worried. I mean, there was even rumours about Dele Alli this morning, weren't there? And that was just, really, really concerning. But now, Sabitzer, again, Bayern Munich player. I can't say I'm a complete expert on the player, but that's a quality option. Can play midfield. I believe can play as an attacking midfielder, not so much as a defensive midfielder, but can progress the ball forward. And I think if we can get that deal done, then that's a good move by Manchester United. I mean, look, it's the bare minimum, isn't it, that their hand have been really, truly forced into this one. But at least that shows some level, and I don't want to give too much credit, but some choice, some example of ambition, I suppose, that they're not willing to totally throw away the season. Because I've seen that terminology been used, as in, Manchester United, if they don't get anyone, or if they, prior to the Eriksen injury rather, we're throwing away the season, we're giving it up. And I didn't necessarily agree with that. But when you get a big injury to a player like Christian Eriksen, and a big injury that he's out for multiple months, if you don't replace him then you're asking for trouble. And just on top of that, not just replacing Eriksen, but what happens if someone else gets injured, right? What happens if Casemiro gets injured? I think McTominay isn't even available for tomorrow as well. So I think it would be the right move, and I think it's a good signing, certainly. And again, I'm just seeing some stuff as I'm live here saying that they believe the deal is imminent. This comes from Bild in Germany as well, saying that Sabitzer to Manchester United is imminent. Jason Burt from The Telegraph is saying it's understood that there is a strong chance Manchester United will sign Marcel Sabitzer. So the feeling is that this one is probably going to happen. And it's funny how quickly things can happen. I mean, myself and DJ spoke about this morning, and I was saying that I didn't think anything was going to happen. But, stranger things have happened in football, and sometimes, especially on deadline days, these things happen quickly. And it would appear that this Sabitzer deal is looking more and more likely to happen. Once I heard that Chelsea was in the race, I thought, well, we'll see what happens. But by all accounts, they're out of the race too. And it's only really United, and he wants to move. So if that could be the replacement for Eriksen, I'm quite happy with that. I think that would be good business by United. And that's not, stubbornness for the sake of being stubborn, of line in the sand, we're not getting anyone because we've got no money. It's, okay, extenuating circumstances, we have to get it done. And again, if we get any more information as to when I'm live with this, has been, a chaotic stream so far, to say the least. It's been a chaotic stream. But yes, and by the way, guys, I say we get through the rest of these questions and we'll try the clip again. I could be crazy. I say we try the clip again as we get through the rest of these questions. A couple of super chats here. Red Baron says, our hand's been forced. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. VK says, fair play to United to sign Sabitzer. They want their own Marcel as well. Come on. And Ashley Bravo says, who is the source of this? Well, again, it's all over the place, basically. Which sources do you want? Fabrizio Romano, The Telegraph, Christian Falk in Germany, Bild in Germany as well, are all saying, I think it was The Telegraph that might have first reported it, but yes. It's everywhere now, and certainly lots of people are confirming this and backing up that they're hearing the same things. Again, I'm just seeing something now come up on my timeline too. This is the beauty of what happens when you're live. Is this comes from the chief reporter for Sport Sport 1 in Germany, it might be Austria, nevertheless, saying that Manchester United want a loan deal for Marcel Sabitzer, with the player open to the idea. Discussions are ongoing. So certainly, again, a lot of the noises coming out of Germany is that this deal is very much real. The interest is concrete, and keep your eyes peeled, certainly for it. Yes, so the next question, because we're talking about press conference here, be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well, bottom right-hand corner. About players filling the gaps. Obviously, with Eriksen being injured, out for 3 months, one of the players that most likely is to fill that gap is Fred. Now, he was asked about, could Fred fill that gap, or could anyone fill that gap, rather? And he said, quote, "I think you can never fill that gap because every player has his own characteristics, identity. Another player will always fill in a different way. But it doesn't mean you have to be less successful. I wish it hadn't happened, but it's quite clear, Christian brings top quality to our squad, and he has some specifics that are hard to replace. It's quite clear that Christian brings top quality to our squad, and he has some specifics that are hard to replace, such as his impacts in the final third with his final ball." Now, as I mentioned, one person that people suggested could fill that Eriksen role, certainly before we get Sabitzer in or someone like that, is Fred. Obviously, Fred plays with Casemiro in the Brazil squad. He came on against Reading. He scored. He's a big personality. Is he the type of player that can come in and improve the game? Ten Hag said, quote, "He's playing together with Casemiro in the Brazil squad. There's not a worse squad in the world. They have so many choices they can make, but they play together, and that tells something about the quality Fred has and what he can contribute to the team. You see against Tottenham and Man City, when he's coming on last game, he scores a goal. He has a lot of qualities, and they're a good combination, Casemiro and Fred." And do you know what? Fred gets a lot of negative reaction on social media, and hey, look, and he can drop a stinker, no doubt about it. And I do think he's better coming off the bench. Historically, when he starts, he doesn't always have the best game. But as Ten Hag said, this season, I think to the game against Spurs, he was brilliant. I think to the game against Man City, he was excellent. Now, can he sustain that through several starts in a row? You don't know. But at the same time, they do have that connection. They have played with each other at international level. And if it is going to be Fred and Casemiro as the starting midfield too, moving forward whilst Eriksen's out with Sabitzer as the other option, that to me sounds okay. That to me sounds manageable and doable as we progress throughout the season. I mean, again, we're still fighting on 4 fronts. Title race, no. But in terms of fighting on the front of we want to get in the top 4, as I said, Carabao Cup and FA Cup, we're in the best position to win them that we've been in a long time, particularly with the teams that aren't in them and how far we are in the Carabao Cup too. Europa League, who knows what can happen. We've got a really difficult and challenging tie against Barcelona, but if we get through that, that's one of the bigger teams out of that competition. And sometimes, I mean, look who was in the final last year. It was Frankfurt and Rangers in the final of the Europa League. You never know how these competitions are going to play out, who's going to eliminate who. So we need the bodies to be able to compete with that, and just with the tight fixture list that we have anyway. And without Eriksen and with no replacement, that looked really challenging because, again, you even had people like McTominay that are out for Wednesday, it would appear. So you need those people. And if we can get Sabitzer in, I think that's a good move by Manchester United. And again, I'm pleasantly surprised. We've been conditioned, haven't we, as United fans, for United not to do anything. And then when things do go bad, people just to go, "I told you so," and United go, "Well, we don't really do business in January." It's somewhat refreshing to see them act fast. Now, obviously, it would have been nicer for their hands not to be forced and for them to get someone like Sabitzer in on top of having Eriksen fit, but we can't ask for too much, I suppose, from Manchester United, or expect too much because, as I mentioned, that's the definition of insanity, isn't it? Now, obviously, it's deadline day. Incomings, at the time they said are unlikely. It appears they are likely now with Sabitzer. What about outgoings? Could any people leave, and could they be on loan? And Ten Hag said, quote, "Could be, but it depends on certain circumstances. If so, there would likely be loans." Some of the names that were mentioned there were Facundo Pellistri and Anthony Elanga. Pellistri looks unlikely to be leaving on loan. It's more likely to be Elanga would be the person to leave on loan. I saw a story today saying that Barcelona were probably interested in him, which that would be very surprising, wouldn't it? But nevertheless, Elanga could be one that that leaves on loan. He was also asked Ten Hag about how does the actions of Chelsea, how do they impact the balance in the Premier League right now? Of course, they're huge spending, not just in the summer, but in January still. And he said, quote, "I can't talk for other clubs, I'm talking for our club. We have a strategy, so we keep the strategy where we want to go. We want to restore Manchester United to where they belong. We are in a good direction, and it has to match our financial frames. We started the season, we keep consistent to that plan, to that strategy, and we are developing as a club, we are developing as a squad in the way of play. You also see the results in the process. We make the right process. We have to keep the process going and keep improving every day." And look, I think he's right. You can't pay too much attention to Chelsea. I know we all have, because it's somewhat unprecedented for them to be doing that kind of business in January, spending that kind of money in January. But we can't focus on them. We can only focus on us and what we need at the moment. And we need a midfielder to help soften the blow of Christian Eriksen not being available for 3 months. And that person would seemingly be Sabitzer. And I wouldn't expect anything else. Like I said, I would expect outgoings. The thing is, with deadline day, the one thing I would say to err on the side of caution is that you never know what's going to happen in terms of deals, whether they'll actually happen, whether they'll fall through. As Romano said, they're still working on the formulas of this deal, whether Bayern Munich will want a permanent deal and United don't want to do permanent deals. They want to do loan deals. So we'll have to see. Now, the question is, guys, do we try? Do we dare try that clip for a third time? That's the main question. I mean, I feel like I should try it, but a different way. And I won't give a peek behind the curtain too much, but maybe I try it a different way. That's what I'll say, because don't know if I'm trusting. You know what I mean? Don't know if I'm trusting the clips today. Technology is not my friend. I don't know. I'll try it. Oh, I don't know. Well, I can try it a different way, folks. I can try it a different way, but you might get like a black screen for just a few seconds. You might get a black screen, but it'll be worth it. Shall I give it a go? I say I'll give it a go.
Guys, I can't believe it, bro. I'm at Carrington, bro. Chef, everything. Everyone's here, and I'm here. And I need to find out, are we ready for the semi-final? Let's hear what the manager has to say. Come on! Gassed.
Hi, Eric.
Hi.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka's been in lovely form recently. We've seen him play more higher up the pitch and more inverted. How impressed have you been with his performance? And is that more what you're expecting from the fullbacks? And lastly, in terms of, in the last game we saw Wild Weghorst, new player that's been brought in, expecting to play more direct into him. We saw Facundo play an excellent cross into him. We expect to see that next phase of our football.
Yes, definitely. I think Aaron, he was so often ill or injured start of the season, so he wasn't in the right spirit to contribute. A lot of dropouts, and then in the restart, he was available. And you get used to our way of play, what we introduced, and I think he made a good development, make a good progress, and I think you see him growing game by game, and I'm happy that also what I think was quite well in the last games, the connection between Aaron and Anthony was much better, and then you see much more difficulties for the opponent. And also we have to work on that. We even have more bodies there, occupation around them, and so they have more opportunities to play over. So and then to Wout, I think Wout is first game is integrating really well, and he's just doing what I expected him to do. And of course, routines has to come, but the more you play together, the more it will come. And So I expect even a better performance from him.
You all laughed at me. Yeah. I managed to pull it off that time. Come on. I went down a different route. I went a different route for it this time. It went Undertaker settings, but I did it. I'll never trust in Google Drive again. Google, or if you are watching, you own this platform, you're a disgrace, you're a cheat. I overcame technology today in the same way Manchester United are going to overcome the transfer window. Come on. It was a risk. It paid off. Come on. I kind of want to play it again. Come on. That's what this is. It's problem solving is what it really is. The issue is that there are probably people that are going to be watching after the fact. They'll turn onto this stream and they'll see the disgrace that was the first 2 clips. During it as well, I was messaging Josh going, I'm never trusting Google again. Come on. Yeah. That's what we like to see, yeah? Ed says, Owen with a last-minute winner. Come on. Leo says, Super Owen saves the day. Nobody's laughing now, says the Reckon. And that's right. Technology, come at me. Don't, because I actually do want to get through this stream as well. But, by the way, huge flowers for KG. He absolutely nailed the question. That's why I'm annoyed with the clip the first 2 times round, because that clip deserved to have its credit. KG absolutely killed it in that press conference. He asked 2 fantastic questions, one about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, another about Wout Weghorst, and it was spot on, absolutely spot on. And look, I understand that in a press conference, especially on deadline day, you're always going to get questions about transfers, and the big story was Christian Eriksen and his injury, and could we get a replacement, would we get a replacement, and all that kind of stuff. But it's also important to ask other important questions as well. And KG, the one chance he's going to get in that press conference, of course he's going to ask about his son Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And it was interesting what Ten Hag said, if you just missed it there, saying, I think Aaron, he was so often ill or injured at the start of the season, he wasn't in the right spirit to contribute. In the restart, he was available and he got used to our way of play. I think he's made a good development. He is growing game by game. I'm also happy the last games, the connection between Aaron and Anthony, which made it more difficult for the opponent, which is interesting because it was something that I noticed or brought up during, I think it might have been either my fan view or Matchday Reloaded, that against Reading, I actually really liked the connection between Anthony and Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side. I thought their link-up play was pretty good. And it'll be interesting to see if that does indeed develop moving forward. The next one was about Weghorst, and Ten Hag said, first game, he is integrating really well. He is doing what I expect him to do the more he plays. And, I've praised Weghorst too. That I think he's got a lot of unnecessary criticism, not unnecessary credit, unnecessary criticism. From him being, he's just a Burnley player and all that kind of stuff. No, I think he's doing well. And I think the difference between Weghorst and Martial, it's just availability. Wout Weghorst is a good player. His hold-up play is good. His pressing play is good. But it's more so that the things you do work on in training and those patterns of play, that link up, that chemistry, the player's going to be there at the weekend. And that's the difference. We've gone through half this season having no idea who's going to play up front every single game. Do you realise how crazy that is? Game to game, we've been wondering who our number 9 is going to be. Is it going to be Martial? Is it going to be Ronaldo? Is it going to be Rashford? Is it going to be a false 9? Who's it going to be? At least now, and it might not be the top quality player that we want and we're looking for in the summer, but at least now we know who's going to be up front. We know who's going to be playing, and they can develop that. They can develop that chemistry, that cohesion, and I think that's important. Just again, some more Sabitzer news. This comes from Sky Sports News, who are saying that Manchester United is Marcel Sabitzer's preferred destination over Chelsea. So even if Chelsea were interested in Sabitzer, if it was a binary choice between the two, Sabitzer would prefer to go to Manchester United. Again, Fabrizio Romano did say that Chelsea were focusing on other deals, so maybe they've already got the sort of reception from the player that he's not really interested. He would prefer a move to Manchester United. It's also being reported by Patrick Berger out in Germany, chief reporter for Sport 1 in Germany, that Marcel Sabitzer did not take part in Bayern Munich training today. And as I mentioned, it does feel like this deal is starting to really escalate here. Dharma Sheff from Sky Sports is also saying Manchester United are waiting to hear if Bayern Munich will do business for Marcel Sabitzer. United would prefer a loan deal, but Sabitzer would prefer a move to Manchester United as well. So this is really starting to escalate and starting to really go places, this deal. As I mentioned, it's also been reported by Miguel Delaney, chief football writer at The Independent, saying Manchester United and Chelsea have inquired about Sabitzer. Bayern are open to a loan. United did also ask about Gravenberch, but Bayern Munich were reluctant. So maybe that's how this deal actually came together. They sort of reached out regarding Gravenberch and they said no, but if you're looking for a midfielder on loan, we've got Sabitzer and we could maybe do something there. So watch this space, certainly. Watch this space when it comes to this deal. Of course, we'll be live when anything breaks later today. We're going to be doing a deadline day stream later this evening too. There's match previews that are going to be coming out as well. So yeah, this is all go. This is all go. Considering I got it wrong twice, shall I get it right twice? Should I play the clip one more time before we wrap things up? I think we should. I think KG deserves it. I think KG's work deserves it. I think his question deserves it. I'm going to play the clip again, and we'll go straight into the end card. So be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on Sabitzer, on Erik ten Hag's press conference, on the work that KG did. People saying, oh, and you're getting cocky now. I believe in myself, and I believe in the technology. Anyway, guys, look, I'm out of here. Here's KG's Derek Carrington once more.
Guys, I can't believe it, bro. I'm at Carrington, bro. Chef, everything. Everyone's here, and I'm here. And I need to find out, are we ready for the semi-final? Let's hear what the manager has to say. Come on! Gassed.
Hi, Eric.
Hi.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka's been in lovely form recently. We've seen him play more higher up the pitch and more inverted. How impressive has he been with his performance? And is that more what you're expecting from the fullbacks? And lastly, in terms of, in the last game we saw Wout Weghorst, new player that's been brought in, expecting to play more direct into him. We saw Facundo play an excellent cross into him. We expect to see that next phase of our football.
And, yes, definitely. I think Aaron, he was so often ill or injured start of the season, so he wasn't in the right spirit to contribute. A lot of dropouts, and then in the restart, he was available. And you get used to our way of play, what we introduced, and I think he make a good development, make a good progress, and I think you see him growing game by game, and I'm happy that also what I think was quite well in the last games, the connection between Aaron and Anthony was much better, and then you see much more difficulties for the opponent. And also we have to work on that we even have more bodies there, occupation around them, and so they have more opportunities to play over. And then to Wout, I think Wout is first game he's integrating really well, and he's just doing what I expected him to do. And of course, routines has to come, but the more you play together, the more it will come. And so I expect even better performance from him.